Hey, Buckeye fans. If you're here, you're enjoying my show, you're enjoying watching the Buckeyes. We're going to be really getting ready to talk about this game, about this upcoming game of Ohio State versus Clemson. And I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this game. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, it's good to see Ohio State back in there, getting another crack at Clemson. And we're going to try to talk about the history between Ohio State and Clemson a little bit. Some things that have been thrown out there by Dabo Sweeney and some of his comments that he said about Ohio State don't belong. We're going to get into that. But first off, I just wanted to start by telling you a little backstory about how I really got into Ohio State football. Well, you know, I grew up a Ohio State fan. You know, I'm born and raised in Ohio, and I've been a Buckeye fan all my entire life. You know, my dad was a big Buckeye fan, so it kind of got me into it. I kind of got my passion built up, and I can really get into some games and stuff like that, and really get a little fired up and get excited when they get ready to play. And I'm always excited to talk about Ohio State football. I'm always excited to talk about any Ohio sports, whether it be Cleveland Indians. You can see in the background we got the picture of Omar and the Ohio with the Indians logo, the Browns logo, which you can't kind of see is on the other end, and the Cavaliers and the Buckeyes and the Blue Jackets. I gotta get a little excited about hockey too, and a little bit because I'm being in Columbus, Ohio now, and so yeah, I just love talking about house sports. If you know me very well, it's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy going to the games and watching my teams play. I remember my first game that I went to was back in 1993 or 95. I'm not sure which one, when Ohio State Buckeyes took on the Washington Huskies, and they weren't even favored to win. They were and the Huskies were coming in. They were ranked a little bit higher than Ohio State, and Ohio State took it to them and won the game. It was so much fun, you know, getting that bonding experience with my dad, being at the Ohio State football game. It was a great time, and that's where I really got into it, you know. And I really wish I could remember a lot more about that game and how exciting it was for me, but that's where it really started. And now a couple of times since I've, you know, been in Columbus, I've gotten to go to a couple more games, and I got to go with take my wife and my daughter even at one time when shortly after she was born. And look forward to taking this little guy right here with me, little David over there with me, and taking Lizzie to another one, and going with my wife and going with the people, you know, whoever I can go with. I always enjoy going to Buckeye football games. Get to go and enjoy watch them, get that crowd noise, and just hear that crowd, the band playing. Oh man, it just gets your blood flowing. You just get, it gives you like goosebumps, and it gets you. I get so excited watching them play. And that's about for all my teams. You know, I put a lot of passion. I enjoy watching them. And it's always better, like we always say, when they win than when they lose. And so, you know, I've seen them. I've never seen, knock on wood as I say this, every time I go to a Ohio State game, they've won. But I remember a couple of times I've gone to Indians games or Browns games or Cavs games. They've lost. But it's always fun to enjoy. The Blue Jackets, they've lost too as well. But it's always still fun to be there. When you're with the company that people you can enjoy watching it with, that makes it even much more better. And when you can see the game in person, when you watch it on TV and stuff like that, it's always better in person. And I've enjoyed every single time that I got to go with family members, spouse, my kids, one kid, and hopefully soon with this little guy. And yeah, it's always such a great time. And that bondship that you get, stuff like that, it's just great. And well, this video is mostly talking about Ohio State and Clemson, but I wanted to share that with you, you know, where my passion started with Ohio State football, because that's what we're talking about today. The college football playoff will be Ohio State versus Clemson. Clemson and Ohio State will play in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, Louisiana, and they've met 4 times in their history. 1978 was the first time, and Ohio State lost 17-15. In 2013, lost 40-35. 2016, 31-0, and last year, 29-23. So the history isn't on the side of the Buckeyes against Clemson once again this year. But you know what? Sometimes you could throw history. You could play a team 20 times and never win, and get your first win. You know, so it doesn't matter. You know, teams will be like, well, you know, we haven't won. But you know what? That's what you can use a great motivational speech on. For Ryan Day, use that as your speech. We've had a lot of great teams come through here. None of them and that would beat Clemson. You have a chance to be the first team in school history on that 5th try to beat Clemson. And you could use that as a speech, you could use that to feed off of, but it's not going to be an easy task because Clemson is a good football team. They went 10-1, Ohio State went 6-0. So that's where it kind of comes into play. It says Dabo Swinney says the Buckeyes don't belong because they didn't play enough games. Now, does that mean he's scared? No. Does that mean he doesn't think Ohio State doesn't belong? Doesn't think they're a good team? No. It's just Dabo Swinney being Dabo. Just likes to, put fire on the fireplace. Try to start fires where there's fires. Tries to get his team fired up and saying that somebody doesn't belong. But maybe we do. Maybe this is just the time of year that you do. Maybe the less games you play is better. Makes you more fresh. Makes you more healthy. And so really it comes down to the fact is you have to do everything you possibly can to keep yourselves healthy up to that point. Make sure that all your players pass COVID. There's no tracing, that none of them have to sit out because they were in contact with somebody. Find ways to keep them out of harm's way, if you will, through this tough time. And because that's what it's going to take, because we're going to need all of our best players to play, all of them to play at their best game. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit with who players I think need to step up and what needs to happen, talk about strategies and that kind of thing. But first, let's look at the strengths and the weaknesses for the Clemson Tigers. Obviously, their strength is Trevor Lawrence. And the guy put up monster numbers again. And he can run, he can throw. He's tough to bring down because he's kind of mobile. And he's got some pretty good wheels. He's thrown about 13, 15 touchdown passes this year. But I think their best player is Travis Etienne, the senior running back, who rushed for 882 yards. Had a lot of touchdowns again this year. And he's also a running back that can get out of the backfield to catch passes. Great speed, built, nice and strong and tough. Another guy that's hard to bring down. So you have to gang tackle those guys. You have to really wrap those guys up and bring them down. And the receivers, I believe it was, who did I say it was? We can look at it there or something. But yeah, so they have he has a lot of weapons. Amari Rogers and guys like Justin Ross, and they got some playmakers. Obviously, wide receiver too. He's got some guys he can throw the ball to, and defensively, when you're going against Clemson, you have to get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. And if you get pressure on him, you have to contain him. You got to wrap him up. You got to get 3 or 4 guys attacking him and getting in and wrapping him up and try to bring the guy down and force him to bad throws. And don't get beat deep. I know we can say that a lot. That's the option of the day is never get beat deep. Well, you know what? In a game this important is because those guys have breakaway speed. And Trevor Lawrence is the type of quarterback to run a little bit, and you have to find ways to force him into bad decisions, kind of take him down when you have the opportunity. And maybe sometimes that could be his biggest weakness, is the fact that he is able to do that and kind of escape a little bit more, and maybe that kind of plays a factor into him being such a great quarterback. It's so hard to take down. Like I said, they beat Notre Dame in the ACC championship after they lost to him the first time, 47-40. And yeah, people say, "Well, Trevor Lawrence didn't play in that game." Well, you know what? You play what's on your schedule, and sometimes this COVID thing is kind of taken away from a lot of players. Maybe that kind of shows you where Clemson can be weak. Maybe you look at a little bit at the film, and that was the other thing. Dabo says, "We ain't got as much game film to watch on them. They got more to watch on us." Who cares about that? And they haven't really been challenged a lot. Boston College kind of gave them a little bit of a game. But other than that, they kind of really dominated everybody they played. And they took care of Miami, Syracuse, North Carolina, and all that kind of thing. And really took a Notre Dame in the ACC championship. Ohio State went 6-0 and took care of everybody on their schedule, even though it was only 6 games and had a couple cancellations. They took care of Wisconsin, or not Wisconsin, Indiana, and Michael Penix Jr., who's a good quarterback, gave him all he could handle, throw for big passing yards, and then they beat Northwestern 22-6, 22-10, something like that. Yeah, 22-10, I think it was. And Northwestern gave all they have. They shut them down, and maybe so really where it starts with is maybe you try to make them as one-dimensional as you can, and see what they can do if you can just shut down one part of their game and then gradually shut down the other one, and try to get ahead of Clemson by a couple of scores. They may not be a team that can battle back. They got a great defense. They got 44 sacks, like about 13 interceptions this year. So they're a team that's going to attack you and get to the ball. So really, one of the weaknesses is that they can't keep up if you control the clock. Because if you keep their offense on the field, obviously maybe that'd be the key. You control the clock a little bit by mixing up with a pass and run, and try to make less mistakes against them. Make them make more mistakes. Make their weakness them make more mistakes than you make on offense. And not even on defense. Make them get penalties. Make them turn the ball over on offense. Force them to more mistakes. With that being said, Ohio State needs to play their best football game they played all year. We haven't really seen Ohio State play their best. And maybe this is where it starts, where Ohio State really, really plays their best. On the offensive side and on the defensive side. On the offensive side, maybe it's just get Justin Fields to get rid of the ball quicker. Not stay in the pocket forever, because against a good defense like that, you're not going to stay in the pocket. You're not going to escape as much. You're going to put yourself in bad field position with long third and long, second longs. And like I said, yeah, and just be balanced. Get Trey Sermon going. I think he's the leading running back. I think he's proved the last 2 games that he could be the guy. He could be the guy going. He's the guy going forward rest of this year. Get him involved. Get him going. Get the running game going. And then let Justin Fields throw the short passes, short slants, this little screen passes, stuff like that, to really open up the field. Play action off the running plays, and because utilize the speed we have. We have receivers that are pretty fast. We got some of the most fastest receivers in the game, and we got a good offensive line. So feed off of that. Use that as strategy. Fields can't force throws, and he has to get rid of the ball quickly. And they see his opportunity to run. Just take it. I really think it's going to come down to the team that makes the less mistakes and makes the fewest penalties. So you can't have those dumb penalties and those dumb turnovers that kind of flip the field. Because you want to win field position. The team that wins the field position is the team that's going to win this game. And and then that being said, that's the way it is in every single game when you're playing against a good team. So really, so I hope I kind of broke it down about what I think are the strengths and the weaknesses and the strategy that you need to beat Clemson. It can be done. You just gotta. Notre Dame showed how they could do it. Yeah, it was out Trevor Lawrence, like I said, but still, they found a way to do it. You just gotta play, and your playmakers gotta play. Gotta step up and play. They gotta be out there playing, whether it be Justin Hilliard, Jonathan Cooper, Sean Wade, Haskell Garrett, Borland, Browning, Hilliard, Pete. They have to all come to play. They have to get the defense fired up on every play and get them, try to help each other get in position, back each other up in the passing game, back each other up in the running game. Be there, force each other. And offensively, Fields, Sturman, offensive line, whether it be Wyatt Davis, Harry Miller, Josh Myers, Thayer Mumford, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson. Maybe some of the other young wide receivers need to step in and make a play here or there, or get the tight end. Get everybody involved as you can. Really keep them guessing. Keep Clemson on their toes. Mix it up on offense and defense a little bit. Throw some different things in, wrinkles that they haven't seen. Use your freshness to your advantage. We haven't played as many games, so maybe we're fresh fresher than they are. Maybe they're to the point where they're getting tired and guys are a little bit more sore. And maybe we can use that as an advantage. Maybe that could be our strategy, using the fact that we didn't play as many games. We could show that we're a little more healthy, we're a little more stronger, and we got something. And then just go out and prove something. We got something to prove. I appreciate all you guys watching my shows. I love you all very much, and I hope you really enjoyed this breakdown of Ohio State versus Clemson. And I wanted to get that to you sooner so we could kind of talk about it a little bit more. You know, it's almost a week away from the game, and I feel like this would be a good opportunity for us to kind of leave some comments and kind of talk about it a little bit. And as always, I will always want you guys to share these videos, like it, tell me what you think, and I'm always up to your opinions and what you think, how to make this show better. And I hope I really brought the passion this time with this and this video, because I'm really passionate about it. And I'm not going to sit here and try to predict the game, how the outcome's going to come. You know, usually I try to give you a breakdown of who's going to win and, you know, try to let you know. And I just think it's too close to call at this point. You know, I'm going to put all my faith and belief the Buckeyes can get it done. I'm just not going to be the one that's going to kind of make a prediction. You can, I will probably try to make a prediction, and a lot of you probably won't get to see it. And I apologize for that, but at this time, I'm not going to make a prediction. Yeah, so just let me know what you guys think anytime on my comments and videos, and feel free to share them with anybody. You know, I love you all, and I'm so glad you guys are here to watch them. And just have a great day, and Merry Christmas to all of you. And if we don't talk before the New Year, have a Happy New Year. We may talk about the Browns coming here once they clinch the playoff spot. We'll try to throw a video in there. But I love you all. Have a great day, and go Buckeyes. Thanks. Have a great day, guys. Merry Christmas once again.